Ashleigh, sure. So here at the hospital, we learned just a little bit earlier tonight that 3 of those victims are in critical condition. We don't have an age on those people. They certainly haven't been identified, but we know, as you mentioned, they are fighting for their lives tonight in this hospital. So when you mentioned that number sadly may go up, we just know that there are people that are still fighting for their lives at this hour. As far as the search is concerned, compared to where our colleagues have been and the video that you've been showing and that sound, the FBI coming over the loudspeaker, it is eerily quiet here where we are at the hospital, which is just really down the road from the scene of at least one of those shootings that officials have attributed to Robert Card, the bowling alley just down the street from here. It is relatively quiet. We do see some traffic going by behind us right now, but clearly a lot was going on earlier tonight when you saw SWAT teams, FBI teams, lots of Maine State Police at homes associated with Robert Card in Bowdoin. Now that's just about 15 miles, 25 minutes driving from here. As somebody earlier described it as kind of the country out there. This is the city where you would come to do things. But that's where we saw the brunt of the activity tonight. And it really, as you mentioned, was confusing because our correspondent Alex Capriello, that had been there for hours, described seeing this rush of activity, this rush of tactical activity there at that home. The FBI agents announcing over the loudspeaker, "We know you're in there, Robert Card, come out." And then seeing that die down, and then seeing it surge again several hours later. And it appears that most of that activity has since died down. But we know, of course, that there are law enforcement that remain in this area during the search. But as you mentioned, it sounds like they do not know where he is. One of my sources that I was talking to that used to be in management at the FBI telling me that this is something that they do whether or not they really think someone is inside. This is something that they do to make sure that no one gets hurt and to really methodically rule out whether or not the person is inside. But as you mentioned, Ashleigh, we don't know if they actually made entry into that home. At least from what we could see, did not appear so. So obviously there's something that took them away from that home for the
weird,
night,
though.
possibly moving on to other homes.
You know, Evan, I appreciate that they said, we just do this as a caution for anybody when we execute a search warrant, but I haven't seen any executions lately of search warrants that require a Lenco Bearcat armored vehicle with the battering ram and the gas injector that can inject the CS gas into a home. This sounded a hell of a lot more serious than just anybody, any warrant. You know, we use this protocol for any warrant. Baloney. This was not any warrant. This was a suspected mass murderer. And they had some reason to believe that he might be in there because they brought in the most heavy artillery I've seen in a very long time in any kind of short standoff. I do have one more question for you about that home. And, you know, in the flurry of the reporting, Evan, obviously there is a lot of misreporting. Many news outlets were given bogus information from a sheriff and from an official outlet, a city councilman, that there were 22 dead. It turned out that's not true. It was 18. So I'm just going to be careful when I bring this up as well. NBC News reported that 4 senior law enforcement officials told them investigators who were at that home executing that search warrant found a note, and that they are currently trying to determine the meaning of that note. Has there been anything that you have heard regarding a note found at the home where all of that flurry of activity happened?
So, Ashleigh, I saw those same reports. I personally have not been able to independently confirm that a note was found at a home associated with Robert Card. I don't believe that that's something that NewsNation has been able to independently confirm at this hour. It's something that we've asked about, that we're working on, but we haven't seen that confirmation just yet. But clearly we know that the FBI and other law enforcement officials have been at several homes associated with him throughout the night. Now, did they leave without finding him? Was he not there when they searched maybe the first time, and that's what drew them back because they had some kind of information that possibly he might be there at the later point in the night? We're still a little bit unclear on that, but the state police did say in their statement that there were multiple homes that they may be searching tonight. So some of that might continue. We just haven't seen it yet.
Okay, Evan Lambert, break in at any moment if you hear anything more. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.